Okay, welcome to this video, and here we're going to start talking about how to deal with, last time we collided with other sprites. Today we're going to try to collide with barriers or walls or something that's going to prevent your movement. So we're going to add another aspect that we're capable of doing in our games. Now, you have gone to this link from the assignment. When you get here, the very first thing I want you to do is press this remix button right here. If you don't press this remix button, I don't have one, but you will. It's orange, and if you don't press remix, then you can't save your work. So make sure that you go ahead and hit your remix so you can remix things. Now what you'll notice is this is kind of a skeleton to start working in, and it's beautiful, except for it doesn't really work because your mouse, I'm in the brain of the mouse, whose name is Car, whatever, maybe that's his name, and he's got only the if statement that will deal with the up arrow. So right now when I press right, nothing happens. When I press down, nothing happens. When I press left, nothing happens. When I press up, he will go up, right? So that's the basic idea. What I need you to do is I need you to flesh out the mouse named Car, and he basically was using this logic more times. If I were you, to get really good at this, I would utilize this duplicate tool. Stamp that if statement, and then you can make the changes you want. So go ahead and pause the video and then make the mouse handle all four directions for me. Okay, so you made quick use of that clone tool, and now your mouse can go in every single direction, but you'll notice that he's kind of crazy. He can go, if I hold two keys at once, he goes all diagonal, that's alright. But he also pays no attention to anything except for the taco. So when he's touching the taco, that's good news. But so all he does is move but isn't paying attention to anything. So what we want him to do is pay attention to these green walls. Now, to do this, basically every time he takes some steps, we might make him back up. So when he moves forward, he's going to ask, did I touch a wall? If I touched a wall, I'm going to back up and act like that never happened. So and what we need is we would need to put this logic like right after every one of these move blocks. If you moved 10 steps, then maybe back up. You moved 10 steps, then maybe back up. But what we're going to do, instead of like putting that same code in there 4 times, we're going to be really lazy. So let me show you how to be lazy, and it's genius. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and I don't think you've ever done this before, up here in your blocks, you're going to click on this last purple business, and you're going to create your own block. So like creating a movement block, like wait or movement or forever, you're going to create a block that didn't exist before. So let's click make a block. Let's say I get to name this thing. I'm going to name it detect wall. You could really name it anything you want to. I'm going to name it detect wall and press OK. And now this is crazy. I have this block. I've got to literally define what does this block mean? What does it do? So make sure you're keeping up. Pause me if you need to pause me to make that happen. Now, to detect a wall, basically what I'm going to say is, did I touch a wall? If I did, I'm going to back up. So maybe I back up. So your best friend, if you're doing a maybe, is your if statement. So that's in control. Boom. Now pause me if you need to catch up. And then I'm saying if I touched a wall, then I want to back up. To see if I touched a wall, all my walls, I did this on purpose, all my walls are green, and these green walls, FYI, are just things that are, when I painted the backdrop, on the backdrop, I just drew green rectangles. That's all that is. So the walls are actually part of the backdrop. But I digress. Let's go back. So you want to know if you touched a wall. So I'm going to go to my sensing block. I'm going to say, am I touching a certain color? And it defaulted to blue or purple. I don't know what that is. So what I want you to do, you have to be really specific and pick that exact color. It won't work. So I'm going to click in that square. Notice how my cursor changed. And then I'm going to take my cursor over here, and when I hover over this green, it picks that green. I'm going to click it. So you get to actually select the particular color. So I'm going to say if I'm touching that exact color of green, then I'm going to go to motion, and what I want to do is go backwards 10 steps. So -10 means go the opposite direction of what I'm facing. So all this says is if I'm touching the wall, then back up. Now, this code right here is great, and we created this block. Right now, it don't do nothing because nobody has ever utilized it. So I'm going to use this block, and I want to do this logic. If I'm touching a wall, back up. I'm going to do it every time I've moved here. So to go grab this block, I'm going to go to more blocks, and now this thing is a block that exists that I could use. And this is so beautiful because I only had to write this code one time, but I could take it and put it in here 4 times. So every time you move, you're going to go wait, hop over here and say, did I touch a wall? Maybe I'll back up. You moved. You hop over here and ask that question again. So that saved you from having to write that code. Whoops, I missed. You wrote it one time in your own block, and then you just used that block 4 times. You've reused your code, and that's genius and lazy at the same time. So sometimes being lazy is genius. Most of the time when you're lazy, it's not genius. I'm just going to say, but sometimes being lazy is genius. So this is so beautiful. Every time you moved, maybe you backed up. Move, maybe I back up. Now let's give this thing a test run. Look at this. So you don't actually see him back up because it's kind of positive 10 and negative 10 equals 0, right? So he moves 10 steps and maybe negative 10 steps. And it is a thing of beauty. Look at that. And so every time he hits, right? So you can make an awesome maze program. This is just kind of a lame maze program, but you can make an epic maze program with what you have here. Okay, so make sure you get that done. Pause it if you need to, or rewind it to make sure that you've created your own block. It's like things that have never happened before. You created your own block. You reused your own code. You actually then also have code here to deal with your taco, and that's awesome. Now, that's it for this video. What we're going to do in the next video is we're going to have just a quick idea about making an enemy that's kind of controlled by the computer. So come back and we'll make that enemy something awesome.